I don't think I have heard any priest speak about this particular, issue. I mean, yeah, not that I can recall.
There's a moral obligation of the church to make her voice heard that this is not okay. The origin of this practice is tainted and evil, and we need to oppose this.
I would love to see it addressed more widely, and I would love for it to be more mainstream and more people to understand about it.
There's a culture, there's a scientific community which is still embracing and propagating this, and the church needs to raise her voice against that.
Unfortunately, the vaccines like the MMR, hepatitis A, and the chickenpox vaccines all do not have moral alternatives. And those vaccines are the more common basic ones that children get. So this is a problem. This is what's putting parents between a rock and a hard place, because they are now confronted with this issue. Parents that want to get their kids vaccinated, and they're like, "Oh, but we're Catholic, we're pro-life. This doesn't feel right." So they're not getting them, or they're going against their pro-life beliefs and they're getting them.
It's not that we are against vaccinations per se, but we're against the issue of where these are coming from. So why can't we have a better win-win situation where we develop these things so they're not from immoral means? You're going to get more compliance from people because you're not going to have these other issues, So let's, I feel like that's where I try to come from, if possible, is can we have some ways that we can have a win-win situation rather than saying, okay, it's us against them?
The medical communities go out of their way to accommodate other religious groups. For instance, Jehovah's Witnesses don't take blood transfusions, and they've developed all these alternative ways of treating them. And they do that because they know that's what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. They're not going to do this. They won't participate. So they've developed alternative ways of treating them. The Catholic Church has not made its voice heard on this issue. And so there are no alternatives. And it's the silence from our bishops has put parents in a really terrible position.
What ultimately do you think is the role that Catholic parents can play in regards to everything, in regards to the state legislation, in regards to just, maybe getting the word out somehow about the aborted fetal cells and vaccines, and not to tell someone if they should or should not vaccinate. That's not what the point is. The point is, look, we're Catholic and we're pro-life. And as parents, we should be doing the homework. We should be doing the research because it's our children. These are our kids.
I just keep thinking about the numbers of the Catholic population. I think awareness and information is key because, we're over 1,000 million Catholics around the world. So we're a big community. And if everyone was informed, if everyone was aware, and we together as the Catholic community demanded for pharmaceutical companies to respect the sanctity of life and to give Catholics, especially American Catholics, the option to be vaccinated without violating, our beliefs. Because it's not that we're anti-vax, or anti-science.
Right.
But above everything, we're children of God, and we believe in the sanctity of life.
I think that raising our voices at our bishops, writing letters to our bishops, to Rome, to the Vatican, saying, hey, this is a serious moral issue that we've been silent on, and we need to not be silent on it anymore. I think that's our role as laity.
In our religion, we're against abortion 100%. So why would this be okay? It doesn't make sense.
I think exactly what we're doing right now, just having that conversation, because many people don't know about this. So if you have a group of friends that may be in the same situation, newlyweds or parents, let's have that talk. Let's gather as a community and speak about it. Let's have that open conversation with no judgment, with no fear, because many people in general are scared to speak and to share even your fears because of the controversial topic and the division that exists today because of vaccination.
I can guarantee you, I'm sure many pro-lifers, once finding out about this, would be totally on board, would be just as shocked as I was. and be ready to do everything that they can.
The lady can't use the excuse that the hierarchy haven't said anything.
Mm-hmm.
We need to also, use our knowledge of Catholicism, of Catholic teaching. And if we don't know it, we need to learn it.
There are companies racing to make the first vaccine for corona. A lot of them are using human cell lines. They really started doing these cell lines around the 1950s. So to say that this is all still happening in 2020, it's kind of crazy. You think, oh, this just happened. This was just happening around the 1950s. Maybe there was like 2 abortions and it was just 2 cell lines. It's not that big of a deal because you have people that think like that. So, but it's 2020. We're still talking about making vaccines with aborted fetal material.
So first of all, creating that awareness, I think, is very important. Again, given how timely this issue, is, and then being able to get some more clarity from our church leadership, to be able to speak about this, more.
As a nurse, we talk about informed consent all the time, but
Right.
I feel like there is zero informed consent. I feel like even doctors don't know. What's the real problem here? Is it the vaccine or is it Catholics? And I would say both. Catholics aren't doing their due diligence to understand the situation. These vaccine companies are using illicit means, illegal, I would say, and immoral means to create these vaccines.